Hey there everyone, and welcome to some more Near Monsters PvP. Now this is more of my Link Water than Storm team. This is two matches against a guy from DLGZ. This guy we've since know is a cheater and he's been banned from the game. But is a guy with loads of mythics, and this was really interesting. This first match and then rematch to see what went down differently. So at the beginning, use the times up. He also knocked back my Polarian to the end of my team, so that completely ruined that kind of combo which I had with Tartar Grenade giving turn to it and sleeping two things at the beginning. I went for Reckless Attack rather than Snowball because there wasn't any point bringing in any new monsters, and I would kill the Aegis Dragon either way. He interestingly went for Double Retribution rather than Quick Draw at that point. He seemed to be scared of my Tartar Grenade. I'm not entirely sure why, but that is a bit of a misplay, I would say. So I use the Time Warp because it doesn't really matter what's going on here. I'm not too scared of anything he's got. The Dragulus isn't going to do anything. Cynthia's out of play. This Cocky Drake has no aggression. Cocky Drake is incredibly tanky. I was very thankful that the second gun killed it, because it can be a nightmare to deal with. So the Vixierid's going to get a turn, and he has got Link Storm. Either Cynthia or Vixierid is the target at this point. I decide to go for Cynthia because I've been run over by Cynthia way too many times. This Vixierid, hopefully I can deal with. The Houdinoid comes in, and then I notice the next monster he has isn't Storm, so it doesn't matter if this gets blocked by Houdinoid, because then the Vixierid can't use the sleep on its turn. Now thankfully it didn't. It didn't get blocked, so XYZ, it was about to have the Double Drain Survivor charged, but I was able to, Metempsychosis it. The sleep hit Vixierid. Oh, he got punished there for, I think he skipped with it, I can't remember exactly now. But yeah, really punished by that going to sleep. This Missile Torment, unfortunately doesn't quite go down to whole ground here, so I have to blow it back. But it was, interestingly, it was actually kind of in my favour that he used the Cobalt Coating Plus, because now it means that XYZ, I can like Double Drain Survivor multiple times without too much risk of what it's doing. So at this point, I could go more aggressive, but what I'm actually thinking is I'm in complete control of the battle here. The XYZ isn't really doing anything. The Vixierid is asleep. Dragulus isn't really doing anything. So what I can do is I can put this Gorgwing to sleep. I don't need to face the Death Revenge from it. I'm just going to put it to sleep. And then I'm going to take down this Dragulus instead. Now, unfortunately, the Death Revenge is piercing, so it doesn't matter too much me doing this Blood Shield on Cynthia, but in the case that it doesn't hit Cynthia, it'd be quite nice to have a shield there. XYZ actually doesn't get rid of the shield with Dreaded Strike, or whatever it's called, so that shield may be useful. I go for the second gun because Cynthia's got the faster move, and Vixierid dies. I can work with that, that's totally fine. Also, I noticed that because this Mutoid was next in line, I figured he has Link Fire in his team. That's why I wanted to kill either Gorgwing or Dragulus and just leave that XYZ, because I figured Magmarinus was coming in. And now I've got these fast sweepers, predominantly Cynthia, but also Gangrilla is pretty fast. Deathgazer enters, does basically nothing because two of the monsters are asleep and one of them can't really do anything. He poisons my team, but I can just purify that straight away. And at this point, when I get a turn with Aetherian, I should definitely have done Banishing Void. I don't know why I didn't do Banishing Void. I was kind of just not scared of the Moku, so I got rid of Deathgazer. But the Deathgazer is not a problem at all, so I should have done Banishing Void at that point, because Moku is a bit of a pain to deal with. I forced him to take a turn with XYZ here. I'm planning to quick draw Moku and then second gun it, which does kill it off. But what you'll see will happen is Vixierid will get a turn because it will wake up just in time. I don't notice it gets a turn, so at this point with Bubble Boom, I don't notice it wakes up. So at this point with Bubble Boom, I just skip, and then I'm like, oh, we got a turn. Oh, whoops, I should have done Purify. And then what he decides to do is shield the Moku, which is a bit of a pain, so I have to be a bit more careful here with what I do. Basically, I'm going to repulse it with Cynthia. So I just skip turns, and I think about repenting Cynthia, but in the end I just decide to skip turn because it's a little bit faster, and then I can line things up maybe a bit better, because then I can bring this Missile Torment to whole ground. Actually I go for the XYZ. Yeah, that's right, the XYZ was about to get Double Drain Survivor charged. I was really lucky in this battle that I bypassed Protectors when I needed to. Made it go really smoothly. This was a brutal victory for me. Where I really shut down his team. So let's see how this goes in a rematch. He now knows what my team's going to do. The battle at the beginning goes fairly similarly. You know, he knocks back my Pilarian. It goes to Time's Up. This time he goes for Aetherian. He targets Aetherian and takes it down. And he will target slightly different monsters as we go. Something I didn't note in the first battle, but he does here in the second battle too. Quite interestingly, he takes down Cyclozar. I'm not entirely sure why, because he hasn't really got too many monsters that are weak to Cyclozar. But he takes that down and then, you know, does that knockback. Quite aggressive, like very different style here. I'm luckily able to line up an Exile to take down that Cocky Drake, so both times I was able to take it down. We're into a similar situation here where I get the choice of Snowball and Vixierid or Cynthia. I go for Cynthia. The other reason why that I went for Cynthia as well is because Vixierid has the Sleep Revenge, which is a bit of a pain, you know, it may mess you up. So Cynthia is the safer choice there. Again, I had a similar choice, or well, basically anything I killed shut down his Link Storm. He does quite cleverly in this battle, shuts down both my Link Water and my Link Storm by leaving me with 2 of each. That's very well played by him. So yeah, Malwing comes in, takes down 2 monsters, basically, disables 2. He goes for a dual Slayerbane, the type disadvantage really screwing him over there. And then that Vixierid's going to get a turn quite soon, so I probably need to blow back it. And then the Missile Torment, I can then line up quite nicely. I had to kind of gamble whether it was going to go ahead or behind Suikenshi. Luckily it went ahead, so I was able to line up things perfectly to oust it and then second gun the Suikenshi. So now we get to the Link Fire endgame. Unfortunately, this time he has got 3 fire monsters, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. I can't put something to sleep. It would have been perfect if I could put something to sleep at this point to, you know, put that Gorgowing to sleep again. But I had to give turn to something or Transient Bash the Flare Burn at that point, and in the end I went for giving turn and then doing it. So you can see my monsters are all going to line up turns here quite nicely. With that Gorgowing, he probably should have skipped by my Bloomluga to force it to get a turn. But actually, I don't know. Taking down my Gangrenna was good too. So here what I decide to do is I skip with my Vixierid and I do the Tsunami Mortar on these 2 fire monsters. Unfortunately, my Vixierid died. I was really hoping that it wasn't going to die because what it left me with, like rather than doing an attack with Vixierid, that skip meant that both my Christine and Vixierid were going to get turns. So, which, you know, even if one of them died, I still had one monster that was going to get a turn after that Tsunami Mortar. That was my thinking. It was, though, unfortunate that my Vixierid died. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. I've got Malwing coming in, which is not good for that Infernocorn. I also don't really want to bring in his Death Gazer right now, because then XYZ will get a turn and times up my Penguinator. So I take down the shield of Infernocorn. He just does a random Protector Killer with his Dragulus. It's quite nice to do the Repent on Dragulus. You very rarely see people use Repent with Magmarinus, but it is a great move. So I figure my Penguinator's going to die anyway. I'll just do the Ultra Thunder rather than like trying to do some Overwatch stuff, because he'll just double piercing blow with the Infernocorn anyway to kill it off. So I go for the Ultra Thunder, but it does mean that you can line up things a bit better, and he does a good job here of lining stuff up. So rather than just going for the double piercing blow now, he's going to use it to take down my Nova Drake, and for that reason doesn't quite want to kill any monster. So he lines it up to get 1 kill on his Death Gazer, and then he does the double piercing blow, taking down my Nova Drake. The sleep enters, and it hits Infernocorn. I was like, yes, yes. I had 2 chances with the Polarian and the Malwing to hit Infernocorn. Thankfully, the first one hit it, so I know I'm safe. That stun isn't going to backfire. As soon as he kills something now, Malwing will come in and put XYZ out of play. Unfortunately, though, he's able to get a kill on Dragulus, and then he'll be able to get a second kill on the Malwing. So, this is still a little bit awkward. Even though 3 of his monsters are disabled, he's got Moku next in line, and I haven't got the best setup for this. I go for the Link Sneak Attack on Dragulus. Thankfully, it works. And then I'm thinking, okay, I could Overconfident Strike. I'm just going to Link Slayebane all. I know it will kill them all. Vixierid comes in. Thankfully, at this point, he doesn't make it go to a draw. I think that Link Slayebane all was maybe a little bit aggressive. I shouldn't have done it. if he went for Transient Bash on Guy Mirai here, he could have ended it in a draw by doing the 3 Transient Bashes, but thankfully he didn't, so I managed to get the win again. But that was a really close battle. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in a video soon.